Honorable members, and good morning, Minister, officials, HOD, and everybody on the platform, and the public or the media that are present. My name is Noko Masipa. I'm the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Economic Development and Tourism. We are going to deliberate and consider Vote 12, which is Economic Development and Tourism, today. Before we start, I am going to introduce members, and all I am just asking is that as I call their name in terms of how they appear on the screen, to please just indicate that they are present, so that we can really move faster. Honorable Constable. Honorable Constable.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, MEC. Good morning, colleagues. Chair, I am present.
Thank you. Honorable Brenghuis. Honorable Brenghuis. Honorable Ngonzo.
Morning, Chair, and good morning to everybody on the platform. I am present. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ngonzo.
Good morning, Chairperson, Khalil Brenghuis, member of the committee. Thank you.
Good morning.
I'm French Mbombo, member of committee.
Thank you. Honorable Vessel.
Good morning, Chairperson. I'm present. Thanks.
Honorable Brimes, thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Present.
Is there any member that I have omitted? Shireen, Procedural Officer, is there a member that I've omitted?
No, Chairperson. I think everybody has been accounted for.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, I hand over to you for opening remarks, and then we can go straight to the presentation. And we have got record of the attendance today, so I don't think it's necessary to introduce everybody. Those that will be speaking, they can just indicate their names and proceed with the presentation. Over to you, Minister.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to the committee secretariat as well as to members of the committee. We are happy to appear before the committee to table the adjustment of Vote 12. Thank you very much, Chair. I'll keep it short and sweet.
Thank you. Minister, I'm handing over to HOD, if that is in order for you.
Yes, as you can see, Chair, this is a minor adjustment, much different from Vote 11 that you had last week. You will see that it lastly has to do with the reprioritization and minor adjustments. So I present to you the head of the department, Ms. Joanne Johnston. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, Vote 12 starts from page 311 and 332. Thank you, Minister, and HOD, over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair and honorable members. In the spirit of my minister being short and to the point, I will hand over to our CFO, but just to do the presentation, but again, just to perhaps reiterate, the budget minor adjustments that have happened has really spoken to, and when you've got your, yes, is really around the realignment. And so just to say that we are in this year looking at new ways of doing things, new types of projects. And so the budgets that you see and the slight shifts that you see is really towards accelerating our delivery and going forward. Maimona, can I hand over to you, please?
Thank you, Joanne. Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members.
My presentation, I think, again, it's also going to be quite brief. It's just to highlight, I think, as Minister said, the adjustment estimate is really it's a minor increase in terms of minor adjustment in terms of the Department of Economic Development. But let me start off by just again defining where the adjustment estimate comes from. It is, we are, as a department, we are mandated in terms of Section 31.2 to note any adjustment estimate that the province or the department might have during the adjustment estimate. And that generally comes from three areas. It comes from revenue retention, so funds that have become available. It comes from shifts between main divisions or managed programs, which is your shifts and environments. And then it also comes through in terms of utilization of savings. So where we have a saving within one division, and we are asking Provincial Treasury to realign our spending. Either we are surrendering the saving, or we are asking Provincial Treasury to realign the spending to the following financial year. So for this department, there's been the following key adjustments that has come through in terms of the 25-26 financial year. So we started off with a budget of 515 million. And through a few key adjustments, which I'll go through in the next few slides, we ended with a final budget of 491 million. Effectively, the department's budget, therefore, decreased for the 25-26 financial year by 23.192 million. So how is that actually, what is being made up in terms of that specific decrease? So firstly, we started with two additional funding revenue retention amounts that we received from our two skills partners, i.e. Bank CETA and TETA. So from Bank CETA, the department received an additional amount of 5.4 million, and that is just to manage a Bank CETA project. And then from TETA, the department received an additional 59,000, and that is to end off at least a 3-year partnership program that the department has with TETA. With regard to realignment, which the next few slides will take into account, and the realignment relates to a few areas. Firstly, our biggest realignment is the compensation of employees, where due to the slow filling of posts, the department actually declared a saving of 16.233 million. And what we've asked Provincial Treasury, and obviously they've approved this, is to reallocate this amount to our COE budget for next year. And that's obviously to accommodate all the vacant posts that we're trying to fill next year. Then there is 3 specific areas within our Program 2 environment, starting off with SME compliance enhancement, where we've asked Provincial Treasury to reallocate the 1.2 million to next year. The same with the SME Accelerator Program, and then the same with the Township Action Plan. All 3 areas is reallocation to the 26-27 financial year. And then same within the Program 3, Program 5 area, where ranging from JET IP, Sector Growth Coalition, Economic IQ, and data subscriptions, all areas where we've asked PT to reallocate the funding to next year. Then the same in terms of our sector intelligence, concept pilot design and small harbours, and then also our business tax incentive, where we've asked PT just to reallocate all these savings in these projects to the next financial year. And so we can go on with tech ecosystem support, Timbuktu, skills boost, as well as drone sandbox, all realignments. Just to note that the 25-26 is the first year of G4J implementation. So a lot of the slow spending in terms of this financial year is as a result of the department having to ensure that they've got the right partnerships, that we've had the right discussions, and just making sure that the project conceptualization is perfectly done before we actually start implementation. So most of these projects is going to be implemented fully within the 26-27 financial year. And then the same with the infrastructure plan, as well as the tourism levy feasibility study. Then, as I said with my introduction, the adjustment estimate also allows for environment. So within our department, we had an enterprise development, small environment to sector development, and that specifically was to cater for the over expenditure in operational expenditure by the DDG economic operations. From enterprise development to consumer protection, similarly, were higher than anticipated costs within the Office of the Consumer Protector. And then from sector development to research and development to pay for sector intelligence reports. Then also from sector development to tourism growth, and that again is to provide for higher anticipated expenditure within that area. From research to sector development, and then from broadband to corporate services to fund the departmental SharePoint overall project. And then lastly, from the tourism growth and development to the enabling growth infrastructure and initiatives. And that was just to reclassify savings from the George Convention Center to again accommodate project expenditure in the enabling growth infrastructure and initiative. And Chair, committee members, that's the presentation in terms of the adjustment estimate. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you, HOD. Honorable members, there's the vote 12. Minister has tabled it, and you are welcome to, by show of hands, indicate if you want to get some clarity in terms of the presentation that has been presented. Honorable members, I don't see any hand as yet. So, Honorable Ngondlo.
Morning, Chair. Am I audible?
Yes, you can proceed.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the presentation. Minister, I just want to understand what would have been the rationale to actually decrease the budget of this particular department, having seen that in the others, like in your cap in the agriculture, actually there is an increase. And one says this, assuming that this department is very important in driving, coordinating, and ensuring that the growth for jobs targets are realized. So I just want to understand what would be the rationale to allow, a 23 million decrease in this adjustment of a budget that would have been requested at 515 million, and at this point, it seems that this 23 million could actually be partly realigned to outer years, which is the next year. I'm interested in that. Secondly, I would like to understand in this space of COE, this conversation of COE is not going to go away, because year in and year out, departments continue to have this very sameness in as far as COE is concerned. Underspending identified within COE due to delays within the recruitment process. It was in the annual report, it was in the previous budget adjustment, it just recurs. And at this point, you're talking about almost 16.2 million. I want to ask the department a specific question. In the 16.2 million and these programs, can we be told how many are these posts that could not be filled? What level are these posts that were not filled? So I'm asking that very specific question regarding the 16.2 million. I want Chair to plead that we don't get this generic answer. We are always told that, delays in this and that and the other. I think we've had that drift by now. We are wanting to understand what are these positions, because these, I assume, are not new positions. These would have been positions that the department would have planned for in their annual report. Then thirdly, Chair, I'm trying to understand one of the explanations about what a budget adjustment is about. It is about unforeseen and unexpected expenditure. So now one is interested to understand that there is a list of reallocations in page 314 of the Enterprise Development Program, you know, to SMME Booster Project, non-profit institutions, higher education, you know, in series of projects. Now, I'm trying to understand, are these projects new projects that would have emanated at this point, and therefore which would have required this shift of the money from the enterprise development? I'm just trying to understand, because it is said in this sub-program 1, this would have been money particularly reprioritized due to lower than anticipated goods and services expenditure. You know, the almost $1 million, which now has been plugged into these different projects, donations and gifts to private enterprise for incubation and outreach, and reallocation of expenditure to transfers and subsidies in support of the Craft Design Institute. So I'm really just trying to understand this budgeting, Chair, around this, and want to understand, are these projects things that these organizations would be applying to the department? There is an open period for this department to apply for this funding. How does this work? Is it an open public process, you know, where the department contributes its funds to this organization? If one can just get clarity there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Ngonto. Honorable Constable.
Chair, thank you very much, and let me add my voice with Member Nkondlo by thanking the department for the presentation, and also to question the decrease in this department. She already outlined reasons, so I will not add any reasons from my side. But also, Chair, I need to understand, in the department must maybe explain to us the reclassification. What is it really, and why is it necessary for us to reclassify any funds now? Is it the legal mandate? Is it something that we have to do in this adjustment budget? Just for us or for me to understand and have clarity on that. On the other stuff, I'm covered by my Member Nkondlo. Thank you, Chair.
Honourable Member,
on mute.
Apologies. Honorable Bryant, I saw your hand.
No, Chair, I was originally going to propose that we put it to the vote, but I see there are some other questions, so we'll put that on hold for now.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Honorable Bryant. Honorable members, I think those are the questions. Minister, over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you, Honourable Member Nkondlo and Honourable Member Constable, for those 2 questions. The HOD and the CFO will deal with most of the questions. I think Honourable Member Nkondlo is correct. We need some detailed explanation about the 16.2 million, that it is correct. Also, the issues relating to the enterprise development, the page number that she referred to is 314. Honourable Member Constable has, like Honourable Member Nkondlo, the same concerns. I would like to just explain one thing, and that relates to 2 things. One, the CFO has indicated that the G4J was largely developed, conceptualized. We are now in the phase of implementation, specifically as it relates to the 2026 financial year. We have developed a detailed implementation plan. I also went to the cabinet to say, here's the G4J, but when the G4J was developed, Mr. Trump was not in the White House. After Mr. Trump went to the White House on the 20th of January this year, the whole world changed as it relates to trade and tariffs. And so, because the Western Cape is responsible for 58% of South Africa's primary agricultural export, it fundamentally shifted the game, and we had to go back to the cabinet and recalibrate the indicators for the achievement of the implementation. So we have now moved, for example, from a 1 trillion rand economy to a 700 to 800 billion rand economy as a result of the trade war. So that's one of the things. Secondly, initially I wanted a 5% GDP growth. We now have a range between 3 and 5%. And we likewise the same with the growth targets. So we have now developed and approved, because I'm the chairperson of the Growth for Jobs Cabinet Committee, we have implemented, in fact, approved the G4J implementation plan. And as the CFO correctly pointed out, that will be now fully the focus of 2026. And also she referred to the developments in terms of the Tourism Growth Fund. As it relates to Honourable Member Constable and Honourable Member Kontlo about the reclassification, there are a number of reasons. One of the reasons, and the CEO can explain, but one of the reasons is that both Freeport Saldanha and the Atlanta Special Economic Zone, there's a reclassification specifically in terms of SCOA, which is the standard chartered of accounts. So there is one of those things that has happened, but there are also other things that she has referred to, mainly in the relations to the various realignments. So they are happy to explain that, and I would also like the HOD to respond to Honourable Member Kontlo's question. As he said, an adjustment and an estimate is for unforeseen and unexpected developments, and if she can also perhaps just briefly respond to that. Thank you, Chair. I hand over to the HOD.
Thank you, Minister. Over to you, HOD.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair. So to respond to Honourable Member Nkotlo and Constable's questions, let me first just deal with the issue of the rationale. So it's not the budget of this year has been reduced, but essentially the expenditure has been shifted out to next year, mostly also to continue with the projects that it was initially set out to do. And this is just to make sure that we are making absolute best use of the budgets that we have. And so in order to ensure the quality of the projects, some of these the expenditure of some of these projects have been shifted out. As our CFO has highlighted, it's making sure that the new projects that we have developed in relation to the G4J are solidly conceptualized and then also compliant with the PFMA prescripts. So that's the one thing. We've reduced it, but essentially the budgets have been shifted out for next year. The bulk of that has been really around COE. And just to explain, and if the committee resolves for us to provide a detailed report, we can do that. But what we've done to make sure that we accelerate the COE on board and to increase and improve our capacity, we have weekly meetings with the Department of the Premier. I'm chairing that to make sure that we accelerate the process of recruitment, and then also to address any bottlenecks. It is at this particular point in time, we are constrained with some of the capacity constraints on CSC side. And so at the moment, we are exploring around how we can supplement their capacity so that we don't actually have any unnecessary delays. So for example, if you look at, it's prescribed that we actually do competency assessments, but CSC only has 3 officials that are servicing quite a number of departments. And so this basically means that when we go through the process and we have to do competency assessments and feedback, sometimes we can wait up to 2 months, sometimes even 3, before we can actually get that done. So we need to be compliant, but at the moment we're moving at the pace of the capacity at CSC. So what we are doing is we're looking at seeing whether we can, in any particular way, try and support them so that we can fast track the process. We also have a process of identifying what are the critical posts within the department. And so we have an HR committee that assesses submissions, and we decide on the basis of what is critical to the the delivery of G4J, which posts to fill. And then also additionally, we are looking at improving the vacancy rate or reducing the vacancy rate. And if we fill all the posts as we are projected, we will end up reducing our current vacancy rate of 38% at the beginning of this financial year towards 20% vacancy rate. I'm going to hand over to the CFO, Memona, to address the issue of if you want to add anything to the reclassification of public entities, and then also to John Peters to respond to the question of particularly the enterprise development and whether there are new projects and the shifts that have been identified and tabled in the adjustment budgets. Memona?
Thank you, Jane. I think, Chair, maybe to start off with, as you are aware, you and the members are aware that with the adjustment estimate, that any changes to the main budget must be approved. So the changes to the regional budget must be approved by the legislature before we as the department can implement it. So the reallocation and the reassignment that you are seeing is changes that needs to be made in terms of the main budget. So as an example, the initial change, the change to the public entities reclassification is a classification that has come down from National Treasury, where they've changed the SCOA classification of public entities, the Schedule 3D public entity. And that, unfortunately, because in the main budget, it was classified under one area. Now, through the adjustment estimate, we need to, I was going to say, correct the classification due to the change that came through from National Treasury. Then, similarly to the other areas where we've had savings or reprioritization from the original budget, we now need to reprioritize it in terms of either environment or whatever other changes, and that also needs to be agreed through the legislature. So with the reclassification, I think also as the HOD has alluded to it, is that all those underspending or savings is projects that's where we're basically just asking Provincial Treasury to reallocate those funds. So we're not losing it as a department, but we also don't want to be negligent by implementing or spending money, and we're not absolutely comfortable with the project conceptualization, that we've actually designed the project correctly. But more importantly for us, we say G4J is about partnerships, that our partners we've actually got their buy-in, and you'll note that a lot of our projects is through partnerships, which brings me to the program 2 question as well. So in the beginning of the financial year, when we allocate funds under enterprise development, we allocate it for the broad fund. At that point, we're not sure how many of our partners or who our partners is going to be. When the year starts and through our implementation process, we then advertise for our partners. And as they come on board through an open, transparent process, we then only would know who we're allocating funds to. So the list that member Nkonlo raised, that list would only be known to us once we actually do implementation. And again, through the adjustment estimate process, we then need to table these names of these beneficiaries. Again, from a transparency perspective, we then need to ensure that we table these names of all those beneficiaries that's coming through in terms of enterprise development. So none of those funds are new funds. It was funds that was initially voted in as a broad, big project. And as I said, as we implement during the 25-26 financial year, we have our partners coming on board. We then approve their funding request based on them being aligned to our proposal and whatever our call for proposal criteria was. And you'll see that most of our projects, or our big fund project, Tourism Growth Fund, our Export Fund, is implemented in a similar fashion. We're not aware in the beginning of the year, but it's not new money and it's not unavoidable expenditure. It's funds that we actually roll out. Chair, I think from my side, I think that is just and then just from the COE, I think maybe just to note that there's two parts to the COE. I think the one part is, as HOD has explained, that's around the delays. But the other part, and it will always be there, is that we have staff, these promotional opportunities, staff leave during the year, and we'll always have an underspending being reflected as a result of staff getting promotions, leaving the department, etc. Because in the beginning of the financial year, you would budget for those staff. But as they leave, those savings will be generated for the department. And then you have to start this entire process again of reappointing, and that, as the HOD said, can take up to 6 to 9 months. But I think that the important thing is it will always be there, because that's the way these processes unfold. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Minister and HOD and Mayor Abrahams. Honorable members, does the reply from the department, are there follow-up questions? Honorable Gondro, I see your hand. Honorable Constable. In that order, thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the explanation. And I'm hoping, Chair, we are going to get these posts that amount to the 16.2 million, which was budgeted in the main budget of this current financial year. I'm hoping that we're going to get that information ASAP, because that would be information that is in the department. Secondly, Chair, I think the issue that we are raising here is really not about the approvals, because one thing that we are aware up to now, the department has been getting clean audits because it does things by the book. So I want us to really be comfortable with the fact that when we are asking, we're not querying that you would not have gone through the approval of Treasury, both the province and National Treasury. But the issue of emphasis here is that our role as the legislative sector is oversight over a provincial treasury, including National Treasury, if needs be. So the point that I'm driving to, Chair, is one, I'm concerned about the notion of this spending, dynamics, where now you ask for money, you receive the money, then in the middle of the year, you choose to then go back to the very treasury and say, this money, actually, I no longer need it for this financial year. Keep it for me for the next financial year. So if we are going to change public budgeting, in the manner it has been happening, we ought to be made aware, particularly ourselves, who are responsible and for the financing part of things. So I'm just raising this concern because for over time, there has been the notion that says, if you can't spend it, you lose it. And then you allow the next budget period to then determine, based on the availability of the fiscus, of what you receive. So now you are having a new thing that, for me, and I'm not saying it is new because I'm sure I was told by Treasury it has been there, but it is pronounced now where you've got this thing of realignment. You get money this financial year, then in the budget adjustment, there is this feature of now taking the money and saying, no, we're not going to spend it. We're actually going to spend it in the next financial year, over and above rollovers, over and above environments. And that is the concern, Chair, that I am raising to this committee as our role of oversight. And again, it's a planning issue from where I'm sitting, because CFO says, we put money there, we do not know who is going to apply. Shouldn't we, or aren't we, when we are doing, we're putting up money, aren't we supposed to have done as we would do with other projects? We would do the project preparation the previous year, knowing that this year, these are the entities that we need to be providing funds. To put money out there and it sits there as a 2 million, depending who applies, and therefore the money shall be dispensed, and therefore we shall await those. I don't think it's the most prudent way, of utilizing public funds, because that planning needed to have happened in the previous or in your quarterly, because when you provide these, when you put it in your annual plan, when you set your targets and you set your indicators and KPIs or KPAs, surely you are moving on the basis that you are making particular assumptions. That is why you are arriving at a particular amount to say, I shall utilize 2 million, because in as far, and also my research, because I have worked with these entities and I know that the loan the applications, would generally be in the range of 1.5 to 3 million. So I'm not going to go and ask for 10 million because I know I may not be able to spend, because the traction that we have actually held, that is why we do baselines. So this is the conversation, Chair, that I worry about when we come to this conversation, because things get to be spoken at a generic terms whilst we're speaking with departmental officials that are supposedly to be technocrats in their work. And so this is the concern that I'm raising about this notion of a realignment of money to outer years, money that was asked for this financial year, including the fact that you would have also been saying in this financial year, we shall appoint in this department these number of, because this is what you come and say to the committee. You are asking the committee to approve because you are assured that these are the things based on the work, evidence-based. This is what you are always told, even by minister in the House. We operate on evidence. What happens to this evidence now when you are coming in the budget adjustment? You are telling us things that as if you were shocked when these things were happening. So I sincerely, Chair, do not accept this particular response, because this is a response we are getting year in and year out, especially on COE. We are getting this very response, which we understand people move, and that is something that data would tell you. I don't think that is something that is a shocker. Data will always tell you, you would know in this particular department, and because HR is there, would tell you that there is an employee that has been indicating, this or that from that particular unit. So it cannot be made as if, no, we were not aware, and therefore, because we were not aware, that is why we are coming here. It is not acceptable, that particular response, Chair, from where I'm sitting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Ngontlo. I think that's just a remark. I don't pick up a question. I note the hand of Honorable Constable. Is that a follow-up hand, Honorable Constable?
It's a follow-up, but also not a question, but just an observation, Chair, if I may. Chair, my observation specifically on the COE is that everything with regards to appointments is done through the Department of the Premier, and we had it in other departments, in other committees also. One department is now going to the Department of the Premier to ask whether they can do it themselves, because there's a problem within the Department of the Premier with regards to timelines and stuff. And I'm just thinking and observing, maybe this is the route that all departments must go, because we're dealing specifically in committees with specific departments. But every time we heard that the Department of the Premier, they're consulting with the Department of the Premier has a program. So maybe we must, I don't know, Minister, if it can be happen also in this department, that we take back that function within our department, because we do have our own HR department. If it's something that we can do, if we don't have the capacity, maybe we must just employ the capacity within the department. Thank you, Chair. It's just an observation. If the Minister can answer that, then it's good.
Thank you, Honorable Constable. I know that you're very passionate about this department, and I see you note that we do have the capacity. You do have the capacity. I think there must be a separation between, us and the department. So we don't have the capacity. I'm sure the capacity is within the department. But thank you for your real passion.
The department do have the capacity. Thank you, Chair.
I hear you. Thank you. Honorable Breges, see your hand.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and again, good morning to you. Chairperson, I just want to say that to make
Honorable Brenkes, your network
it
seems to be
well.
unstable.
But
Honorable
I want
Brenkes?
to say thank you very much to you. Chairperson, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Chairperson, I was saying that I just want to say thank you very much to yourself as the chairperson of this committee. And I want to express my appreciation to you as a chairperson. And what I'm going to say next is that I don't want to degrade anybody, but I think the department can learn a lot from you as a chairperson for what you have done in the last couple of weeks. And I want to highlight this. You have taken us as a committee to several oversights. And the effect and the results of those oversights that you have taken us as a chairperson, you have taken the committee. I've been personally with, and many of our colleagues. The result of those oversights was that many of the youth of our youth here in Cape Town got economic opportunities. I mean, real economic opportunities. They got employment opportunities. People that I've met, some of the youth here in Mrs. Plain, that never thought that they would get such opportunities. And I'm talking specifically the oversight that we had at the cruise ship offices there in Sensory City. That oversight was so effective. It was so effective that up to date, I must say that more than I can, from myself, I can say more than 10 youngsters from Mrs. Plain got an opportunity to at least go and see these people that is recruiting youngsters to work on these cruise liner ships. And I want to say further that, Chairperson, if this is the type of leadership that you are showing, that you know on with regard to taking us on such oversights, then I can only foresee great results in the coming year and the next year also. That more of our youth, especially here on the ground in Cape Town, is going to get these type of economic opportunities. This is just a comment that I wanted to give this morning. I want to express my appreciation and thanks to you as a chairperson. And this serves as encouragement to all of us, including the department, everybody, we as the committee, the department, everybody. If we can show such leadership in such direction, you know, for our communities to get these type of economic opportunities, it will be highly appreciated, not just from us as members of the committee, but from the community itself also. And I'm going to do it my duty to invite them to our next year, God willing, these youngsters to come and to report on how they have enjoyed and how they appreciated these opportunities, and to compare it to the community, to the committee, and to Parliament, so that they can also serve as a inspiration and as an encouragement for us as a committee to carry on with this type of good work, and especially you yourself, the chairperson. And it can also serve as encouragement to the department also to follow suit and to follow in the same direction, so that we can get this type of results, youngsters getting economic opportunities, not just here in Cape Town, but God willing, throughout the Western Cape, on the rural areas also. The more we're going to follow that way of engaging with the community and going for those type of oversights to these influential businesses and private entities, the more our youth especially can get these type of economic opportunities. So I want to say thank you very much, Chairperson, for that leadership that you have shown, and may God preserve you as our chairperson of this committee, and God willing, in the year to come, we're going to take the same direction and initiative so that our communities can get this type of economic opportunities. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Honorable Brinkhays, thank you very much. But I think let's focus on the tabled vote adjustment budget. We will talk about that in the next quarter when we come back in terms of how do we support our young people. So just to emphasize that our role is oversight. And when we see an area that we can conduct oversight and therefore make recommendation to the department in terms of how they can really support our economy and our young people, I think it is our duties as members of parliament. So Honorable Ngondlo normally will say that don't praise a fish for swimming, you know. So I think we are just doing what we're supposed to do as honorable members. Honorable Ngondlo, is it a legacy hand?
No, it's a new question on my last questions, Chair, for this on this book.
Okay, thanks. You can go ahead.
Thank you. And following on the line, and I think we, as much as you're trying to be modest about this, but we really appreciate your leadership in the committee. Chair, I think on page 319, I just want to understand from the department the 5.4 million coming from the bank SETA and TITA, the transport one. Can they just give us an indication of what exactly does this money pay? And how many young people are involved and in which specific projects? And I think it's in line with what Member Brengis was raising. As one knows that previously this program would always be having challenges of the placements, you know, for these young people, especially after they've gone through the theory. They would need the practical training that enables them to understand or get equipped with the market-related skills. So I'm just interested to know the numbers, where exactly what is being financed by this money, and if this money is going to be utilized still within this financial year. The second one in 319 still, I see that there's a 300,000 on the township action plan, which was introduced by Minister during the budget vote of this year, you know, to try and augment in the G4J strategy, the township strategy that has been raised many a times. But I can see that now the plan, which I'm not sure whether it still refers to the pilot, if it is the pilot that was said to happen, I think in Mossel Bay, if I'm not mistaken, is it the one now that is being realigned, that is moved to the next financial year? And I just want to understand what would have happened not to deliver this project in this particular financial year, and what exactly is 300,000? What does it pay? You know, for the township action plan to only just get so little an amount in the budget. And then lastly, Chair, on the questions one would have had. Oh, okay. No, I just wanted the explanation just of understanding this issue of Atlantis IEZ, of the reclassification. I know the CFO spoke to it earlier on. I just didn't pick it up. I hear now it is said, I'm not sure this means that there would be independent entities, both itself and Saldanha. The Freeport Saldanha, they will be independent. What is the meaning of that? This reclassification of them as public entities, would they still be under the shareholder oversight of the Department of Economic Development, so I'm just trying to understand what that means and how has the issue of the operational expenditure challenges or constraints in Freeport Saldanha been resolved. Thank you, Chair. Those are my last questions.
Thank you, honorable members. Minister, over to you.
Minister, may I go ahead? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to hand over the question. Thank you very much once again for the questions. The township realignment, I'm going to ask John Peters just to respond to it. But it's also to note that the budget that we've set aside for the township action plan is also supplemented with the budget of DP. So we see this as a whole of government approach. And so the idea is that we'll draw resources from across the province and the Western Cape government. But Nizam, if I could ask if you could please respond to the bank CETA issue. And then if I can just use the platform now just to respond to the issue around the Freeport Saldanha. I think the key thing is that we are implementing the 3-year recovery plan for the Freeport. We have regular engagements with them to ensure that they are, on the one hand, implementing the recovery plan timeously, but then also to provide additional support as they're required to make sure that they do have the turnaround and they are starting to attract investments and therefore create jobs. But can I hand over to you, Nizam, please? Can you be brief in your response?
Yeah. Thank you, Joe, and thank you for the question. So those funds, we probably would provide training opportunities for about 170. It will be implemented this year. That's the first question. The next is we'll probably support 170 new unemployed youth, and we'll provide employment opportunities for them. Each of those employment opportunities will crowd in a further 4 million rand for the skills component. That's about just under 24,000 rand per person. Of those 170 kids that we will transition into employment through our stipend, we typically we have a target of 136 of that 170 will be transitioned into full-time, meaningful employment into the economy. And just as we normally overshoot that target by a significant amount, the ratio between the short-term 12 months employment with a skills component and full-time employment, we normally overshoot our target of 80%, but the 80% target is 136 full-time employment after the 12-month internship. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Through you, Chair, if I could ask John Peters just to respond or anything he wants to add with respect to the township realignment budget.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe just a quick response on that previous question from Memon Kondlo. Although we sort of envisage that we look at the forward planning process, but this year's sort of pivot was quite interesting in that we had a series of workshops that was hosted by Professor Ntonkwana of Stellenbosch University, and we engaged extensively with the ecosystem partners and found that the ecosystem partners need support, and hence that call for proposals, and it's an open process to organizations and not to individual businesses, because then it becomes a bit of a nightmare. To individual organizations, enterprise support organizations, to forward to us requests for support, and then we have a criteria, and then we support those organizations. And I think also the idea is that you have an ecosystem in the Western Cape that is conducive to enterprise development. Just to respond to that one. So I understand there's one part where you can a year ahead plan, but there's certain events or certain interventions that ecosystem partners come up during the year. So you want to balance that one. That's I think that response to that one. Then the other issue of the 300,000, yes, but that's not the only amount of money that has been secured for the township action plan. And yes, it is in Mossel Bay. What we've managed to do, and because it's a pilot project and lots of learning, there's been a lot of engagement with the municipality, with the ward councillors and all those who get their buy-in. What we managed to do is, besides, I think it's almost 3 million that has been allocated to DETI on this project. I think where the big saving came in is that because we're working with EDP, they've allocated almost a dedicated resource to the township action plan, which immediately meant then that a lot of the services that we required was actually done by the EDP. And that is almost the model that we're trying to work on, where organizations sort of provide human resources, and that takes away the need for service providers or for consultants. Thank you.
Chair, I think we've responded to all of the questions. Just also maybe to note that overall, if we exclude the COE, the realignment of the budgets represent 2% overall in terms of what we're adjusting for, excluding the COE. So I believe that we've been prudent with the finances. Each of the projects have risks and mitigations that try and accommodate for potential delays and making sure that we have delivery, but we are responsive and agile, and we want to make sure that we spend taxpayers' money wisely. But we do take note of the comments made by Member Nkundlo with regards to the realignment and some of the shifts of the budgets. And next year, I believe that we will have even a better adjustment budget going forward. Thanks.
Thank you, HOD. Minister, I see you also want to make that inputs.
Yes, I'll make a few general comments so that we can finish at 9 o'clock. I think the issue of reclassification and the realignment were comments and the remarks that were made. And I think the reclassification has absolute perfect explanation by the CFO. It's something I think the Honourable Member Nkundlo will recall that when I was the Minister of Finance, this system was introduced. Any new system in the financial architecture normally takes time, sometimes 10 to 15 years times. And there's always classifications and reclassifications. So I think this is acceptable. In any normal financial architecture, you find reclassification. The reclassification was done by the National Treasury. At the time when we compiled the budget, that reclassification was not done. So it is obvious that in here you adjust according to the National Treasury circular. So I think that was perfect. The realignment, I'm also happy with the explanations. I think Honourable Member Constable make an observation that is actually music to my ears. In fact, my response to him would be that I think it would be a good thing to have a comprehensive review of the HR function in government. And some may like it, some may not like it. I'm a principal agent of decentralization. And I think effective governance always support decentralization. So his comment is music to my ears. Honourable Member Brankes, yes, thank you for your comment. And I agree the Standing Committee Chair is doing an outstanding job. But I think from your comment, I would very much like that our Mr. Nizam and the Standing Committee perhaps invite us to come to the Standing Committee with one single laser-sharp focus, namely, what is it that DDET is doing to create employment opportunities through the various programs, and not only here, but across government, to create opportunities for the youth. And I think, Mr. Nizam, if he can start talking, he will be talking non-stop about the 10,000 opportunities being employed, create opportunities just in the BPO sector. But there are many other opportunities, and I think all the program managers on this meeting can also indicate the work that they are doing, as well as what John Peters has indicated. I think also when you start a new project, that you always pilot it, and in the piloting process, you refine it. So I think that is worthwhile. And I think the 5.4 was brilliantly answered by Nizam in terms of the CETAs. So I think I'm quite satisfied that all of the stuff that were questions were answered. And I think, Chair, the government has a thing called the Premier Council on Skills. And I think it would be quite nice also to invite some members to the Premier Council on Skills so that you can see what opportunities are being created for the youth through the Premier Council on Skills in terms of one of the 7 pillars of the Growth for Jobs strategy. So, Chair, I think I'm quite happy and satisfied, and I want to appreciate the certain comments, certain remarks, and as Honourable Member Constable made an observation, all of these things are taken in a good spirit and taking the department forward. I want to thank the CFO. She has done an outstanding job, very little adjustments, in fact, almost, in my view, a perfect budget, except for those 2 realignments and the reclassifications. I want to thank also the accounting office and all the program managers and all the members of this committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. I just want to really say sincerely thank you for your extraordinary leadership. You and your department you've shown this year, despite an exceptionally challenging environment, ranging from AGOA uncertainties to budget 3.0 and everything in between. You made what was a turbulent year appear remarkably steady and well managed. And really thank you to you. And our heartfelt congratulations to you, every official in your department and all entities under your portfolio. In the face of tough, searching questions from honorable members during oversight, you have collectively achieved something truly special. The government of the Western Cape has been voted 2nd best place to work for in 2025. Really, congratulations. That is a powerful testament to your culture, professionalism, and dedication, and very, very well done from ourselves as the members of the Standing Committee. We are now standing between you and a well-deserved holiday break. Thank you for your professionalism, patience, and grace you have shown throughout the year in engaging with oversight and responding to very, very difficult questions. Really, with that, I want to say thank you and enjoy a wonderful restorative holiday season with your families. You have earned it. And thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I think we can definitely release ministers and the HOD and the department and the entities that are here, and then we can deliberate, consider the vote, if that is in order, honorable members.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the committee.
Thank you, Minister. You are welcome to leave.
Thank you very
can
much.
Stay if you want to stay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Honorable members, now we move into the next part of the vote 12, which is the consideration and adoption. The vote, like I said, is from page. Let me just go back quickly. Sorry. From page 311 to 332, can I see by show of hands those in support of the vote? Honorable Brand, I see your hand. Mine too is up. Honorable Mbombo, I don't see your hand. Okay. Shireen, you got the hands?
I do, Chairperson.
Thank you.
There's Member Mgombo's hand as well.
Okay, thank you. Those not in support, who wants to express their minority view? Did you note the hands?
I did, Chairperson, yes.
Thank you. Honorable members, with that said, can we move to, can you upload the report so that we can read it into record? Honorable members, report of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Economic Development and Tourism on Vote 12, Economic Development and Tourism in the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill B52025, dated 8 December 2025, reads as follows. The Standing Committee on Agriculture, Economic Development and Tourism, having considered the subject of Vote 12, Economic Development and Tourism in the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation B5-2025, referred to in accordance with Standing Rule 188, reports that it supports the vote. In accordance with Standing Rule 90, the African National Congress and Al Jamaa expressed their minority view to not support the vote. Thank you. I do note the hand of Honorable Ngondlo. Is that the indication to support or to adopt the report? Honorable Ngondlo? Was it a legacy hand?
I adopt the report, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Ngondlo, move for the adoption of the report, second. I note Honorable Constable, thank you. Honorable members, we came to the end of the report. Are there any additional resolution except those that were made by Honorable Ngondlo? I see no hand. But Sharin, have you noted the recommendation by Honorable Ngondlo and obviously the request from the Minister that they are ready to come and present to the committee? I think those are the resolution that I've noted.
Okay, Chair, if the committee wants to agree to those resolutions as such, just let me know now and it will be then captured in the minutes.
Honorable members, are you happy to agree to those resolutions that we get the positions that obviously are as a result of the COE, as Honorable Ngondlo has indicated, requested, and also the Minister did indicate that Nazim will come before they will ask Nazim if honorable members are allowed to come to the committee and present in terms of the work that they are doing as a department in terms of really skills development and placement of young people. Honorable Ngondlo?
No, Chair, I just wanted to check whether what is with the questions that one has asked, what is the timeline? When can one expect the response?
Are we talking about the positions?
Yes, Chair.
Look, timeline will determine, obviously, it's going to be holidays now, so will probably be reasonable as well from our side in terms of timeline. But I would think that end of January will be reasonable.
Chair, help me here to understand, why would it take too long for information that the department has on a discussion of a budget vote that is actually being debated this Thursday and Friday? Because what's the point if I'm asking for information that I need towards this vote adjustment? Why should I get a response then in January when the process has long been finished?
I hear you. Honorable members, what's a reasonable timeline that you're thinking of? You may propose, Honorable Ngondlo.
I'm sure, Chair, the HOD and the department assumably this is information that is with them. It's information I could get just before the budget vote, because it's information that I need to understand the COE realignment decision that they've made. So if they give me that information, it actually helps me to even reconsider my position, because now I have that information. So I don't think it would take them so long to just print something and send it to the committee coordinator if I can get the information before Thursday. Thank you.
Okay, we will coordinate and revert back in terms of their information availability to share. Okay, noted. Thanks. Honorable members, thank you really very much for your indulgence. Yeah, and I hope you have a lovely Monday further. I'm going to hand over to Leon, who's going to take us through the budget in the next couple of hours. Mine is done for the week. Thank you. Honorable members, thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed the Springbok Blitzbok. Yesterday, I saw Honorable Mbombo at the stadium. Didn't see many of you there. May Sharin, thank you very much. May Nomfundo, really thank you very much for always supporting us, and really thank you for all the hard work that you have put throughout the year, and supporting us at the background. And really thank you very much. We appreciate, and please take a good rest this holidays, and see you in the next year as we continue with the work that we are doing. Really, thank you very much, colleagues. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, all the colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Sharin. Thank you.
You're welcome, member. Thank you, Chair.